Okay, day 105.5, I believe. So Trump is going to send back the memo with the approval, and the key redaction that I am interested in is if NADRA was mentioned or not. So it'll be interesting to see if that technical redaction the FBI asked for fits that 5 capital letter space program or not, or if it's in context of a surveillance program using the word NADRA. I really obviously need that word NADRA to tie in the geolocation. Why this is significant, so Devin Nunes will get it tomorrow morning over here in Longworth, but the reason why it's so significant with geolocation is that is a whole different level of surveillance to the American people. So that's why I was saying that anything redacted reduces the legal firepower of the memo. The memo becomes a key stepping stone to then cross the river of, you know, getting back to the deep state or draining the swamp or whatever you want to call it. So the fact that it's going back is correct, that they did change it and are sending it back for approval. So who cares about being right? I care more about getting the memo out and getting it out as full as possible with as many names as possible. Again, I've got a lawsuit against people in the FBI, not against the FBI, okay? So it's very important those names aren't redacted. With McMaster in the henhouse, now it looks like Kelly is joined in on this backstabbing game. I don't trust anything they say until that thing comes over there in 24 hours. If it's gonna be over here in 24 hours or not, I doubt it. But you're talking about McMaster and you're talking about Kelly. If you said it was Mattis, I would have more confidence, but we'll see if John Roberts' reporting is correct. We'll see if the Daily Caller is correct. I have my doubts. But having said that, the key thing here is it trips probable cause and individual actors. This is something that Sibel Edmonds had so much trouble with 20 years ago. This has been a program of 20 years using this poison pill or tag you're it. Basically using a rabbit, a white rabbit or whatever you want to call it, this person to, or Midas touch, or whatever you want to call it, using a Carter Page to say, oh, I went and met with the CEO of Rosneft or the guy who runs FSB for Putin, Sechin, and now everybody I touch, I can now start surveillance on. So I can just run around everybody and touch everybody. Now we got full dive surveillance on everybody. That's how Carter Page has been used. Go back to when Carter Page was in the office of Omar Awan, Director of Strategy. The strategy here is touch everybody who's your political enemy, to do deep dive surveillance on them with Andy McCabe. All of those people will now have standing in lawsuits. The key here is that, got to go back to the Clayman lawsuit, 22 hard drives that are sealed right now, all of phone conversations. I think there's something like 25 million phone conversations. Any one of those that has Andy McCabe's name associated with it now also have standing. So I don't think people realize the gravity of this and the downstream ramifications. The FBI sure does. The FBI sure has that figured out, but I don't think anybody else does. Mine is about geolocation. Mine's Carpenter. So that adds a whole different level of damages and so forth, because that's much more of an intrusion than just looking at your phone calls and doing social graphs, okay? Now, it has come forward that Clapper has said that he extended the surveillance on all the Trump team on the 15th of November through GCI, the GCHQ. So that, I believe they did not get approval on the second approval. The November 15th approval, they did not get approval. There's gonna be a whole bunch of texts between Andrew McCabe and Clapper. Also, I think Hayden was out by then, but Hayden before him was gonna play that role. That's why I named both Clapper and Hayden in my lawsuit. So Brennan is the guy behind it for the last 20 years. That's why I named Brennan in my lawsuit. So all these things are critical. The key thing is this kicks Clayman's stuff into play with probable cause, reasonable suspicion, beyond reasonable suspicion to probable cause that these people were injured, and a judge now needs to open that case up. So this is going to be very interesting, and I think the FBI realizes this, but not too many other people on Capitol Hill realize the significance of this memo from a legal standpoint, from a legal point of view.